private polls got it right, and the private polls were getting it right for a year ahead of this election result. And the private polls were getting it right on the Democratic side and on the Republican side. Think that if the news media wanted to inform people, they would tell them about the difference between private polls and public polls. A private poll will cost 10 times, 20 times as much money, 50 times as much money as many of these public polls. They will use completely different methods. You would think that would be an incredibly important story for years that the news media should focus on. But I don't recall any article in the mainstream media explaining the difference between private polls, the polls funded and held by the campaigns, proprietary, right, incredibly expensive, detailed, and much more accurate than comparatively slipshod public polling. Right? That you would think that would be a major news story right now, to explain to people the difference between public polls and private polls, but Mark Halperin has been harping on this for years. I don't know why no other political journalist came close to doing the type of work that Mark Halperin has done, where he is continually pointing out the difference between private polls and public polls, and that the private polls for the Democrats and the Republicans were saying the same thing, that Donald Trump had a small but enduring lead in the battleground states, and that even though Kamala Harris had a better debate performance than Donald Trump, there was no evidence that was changing private polling. Another thing that doesn't get much attention in the news is that campaigns don't really matter much.